What is dayparting in Amazon PPC? Should you be using it or not? That's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video and explaining from a high level what is dayparting and when you might want to use it and when you might not. All right, so first, what is it? Well, take a look at this data right here. This is showing you the best and the worst times of the day and days of the week for a group of ASINs. So this is breaking down what times of the day and days of the week you have the best ACOS. This is the same product, the same campaigns, and the same keywords, but you can see that on different days of the week and at different times of the day, the performance is radically different. For example, Mondays at 12 p.m., we have a 17% ACOS, whereas Fridays at 11 p.m., we have a 59% ACOS. Whenever you're looking at a campaign, normally you're getting this data all blended together into an overall ACOS. But when we break it down by hour and day of the week, we can see the performance is dramatically different. Most sellers know that dayparting exists, or at least they understand that their product's performance is really different depending on the day of the week and the time of the day. People come to me all the time saying, can we slow down spend on the weekends or the early hours of the day, things like that. But the problem with making decisions based on assumptions like that is that you don't actually know that what you're doing is going to impact your bottom line. If you're new here, my name is Carly McMillan and I have managed millions of dollars in ad spend on Amazon, and I run an agency called PPC Farm where we run ads for other Amazon sellers. And today I'm going to be talking all about dayparting and how you can use this data to optimize your own ads and whether or not it even makes sense for your specific products to be using dayparting at all. So as you've probably gathered, to put it simply, dayparting is when you're able to adjust your bid based on the time of the day and the day of the week. Amazon does give you this data. There is an hourly report that you can download in Campaign Manager. And typically when people first start to look at the data from this report, they start to go after volume. They say, well, I'm getting the most sales at 12 p.m. on Mondays, so I'm going to raise my bids during that time. And that might end up being correct, but what we do is actually optimize based on the performance, so the ACOS for that given time period. Just because you're getting the most sales during a specific time or day doesn't mean those are the most profitable sales for you. And around here, we do profit first advertising, so we don't do anything unless it's actually bringing more money to your bottom line. So let's look back at the ACOS by day of the week and hour of the day. So here you can see that the performance is very different across each of these different time periods, right? So what we'll do is actually apply a multiplier to our bid based on this data. So if the ACOS is a profitable ACOS and it's on the low side, then we'll know we can increase the bid by a certain percentage. On the other side of that, if the ACOS is poor, then we will decrease the bid by a specific multiplier during that time of the day and day of the week. So the logic is simple and pretty clear, but how do you actually do that? So the best way to implement dayparting is to utilize a software that's actually going to allow you to implement something like this multiplier system. If you're doing it manually, Amazon does not really have a good way to do this. The best you can do is set up budget adjustments by time of the day, but it's not perfect and you can't do it every single hour. And same for bid adjustments. You can select some hours of the day to adjust things by or hourly ranges in your campaign settings, but that's it. So if you are doing this manually and you're not using a software, the best thing that you can do is go and download the hourly data in Campaign Manager. And then from there, you're going to have to basically set up Excel formulas to help you determine what the multiplier should be on that bid and then go in and make changes every hour. It's super not perfect, but it is technically an option. I would absolutely recommend utilizing some kind of a software to do this for you. I'll also add that if you are doing this manually and updating bids every single hour just isn't feasible for you, you can still get pretty good results if you just make changes during the best and the worst times. So that can be something you can do in place of utilizing a software to do this for you and actually make those changes every single hour. So should you actually be doing dayparting? How important is it really? Everybody talks about it, but do you really need it? And is it right for your product? There's a lot of nuance that goes into this decision, but I think essentially dayparting is getting you more efficient PPC. If your goal is to have very tight PPC, really low ACOSs for a product, and it has a large volume, so it's selling a lot and it's hard sometimes to control the spend, then I think Dayparting is a great solution for that problem. On the other hand, if you have an ASIN that doesn't really have much traffic, it has a low sales volume, Dayparting can actually hurt the traffic coming in. You essentially get too efficient with the spend and unfortunately end up sabotaging some of your top line revenue and those sales coming in. So while I think it's a good option in a lot of cases, there are times when Dayparting can basically be too efficient and hurt your traffic, hurt your impressions. But if you have a decent amount of sales volume and traffic already coming in and your goal is to just control the spend as tightly as possible, then I think that Dayparting is essential. And actually within our system, we've built in rules so that every single one of our ASINs has Dayparting, even if it has low volume, because we're able to adjust for how much Dayparting we want to do. For example, do we only want to apply the positive multipliers, so only increasing spend, or do we only want to apply the negative multipliers, right? And deciding on what mix of those. But that's integral to our system and not necessarily available in all software. Anyway, I hope that that's helpful, and if you would like to learn more about Dayparting, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. This topic is a little bit complicated, so I would love to hear what is on your mind. And as always, if you want to get more information and videos about Amazon or PPC, please don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe and all that. You can check out my latest video here. Thanks for watching.